Alright, so Halo Infinite is getting a huge drop in Season 5, and with it comes a new meta with a new Bandit Evo starts. I'm going to give you guys my opinion of it and how it'll change your Halo Ranked Arenas playlist forever. On top of that, there's going to be cross-core customization, which means I'm changing my drip a little, and new maps, new game modes, blah blah blah. You guys probably already know it. So first, let's go over the Bandit. I actually played a little community tournament by Ascending Baseline where they made it so that it was Bandit starts. And when the pros say that the Bandit needed tweaks to be put into competitive play, they were not lying. Having a Bandit as an arena weapon completely took out the intense strategy of Halo. It was incredibly pointless to hold crosses because the effective range of the Bandit sucked. For example, on recharge, holding top gold was so pointless as a power position because it was so difficult and inconsistent to shoot at people from bridge to overhang. Even shooting at Whirlpool was an RNG fest. And it's interesting to see how one weapon can alter the competitive aspect so much. The BR makes holding power position something you have to deal with, while with the Bandit you could just completely ignore anyone who is mid to far range from you. And the product of that is you can mindlessly walk around with your teammates and feel no threat from power positions. The Bandit encouraged you to just walk around with your teammates and ignore any crosses or flanks from enemies. And the latter flaw is that it turned team coordinated pushes into mindless shoves. Like I said, cross map crosses were incredibly pointless. So if you gain a power position on one side of the map to flush enemies out and enable your team to push, it would be futile because the enemy would not have to deal with you shooting at them. There is no effective scope or consistent option in bullying people out of spots, and if you try to get any closer to attempt to kick people out of those spots, you would get insta melted by enemies in other positions because you would have to force yourself out of a good position into a bad position. This effectively makes the coordinated pushes into everyone dogpiling through a choke and hoping the team does not use their nades to eat your shields, once again taking a lot of the strategy out in the game. Additionally, since the Bandit has no scope, there are no D-scope battles, taking out the skill ceiling of the game, and the crosshair of the Bandit has a pretty high margin of error that landing that last headshot from anything from mid to long range, it was so inconsistent that it basically turns into a game to who has more health and who can shoot at the body faster. There was very little headshots from when I participated and watched people using the Bandit, and it just kind of looked a little bit boring because people would just like shoot at the body and whoever had more health just won. The truth is the maps and mechanics of Infinite are not suited for the usage of a Bandit with no scope. The ranges of the maps are large, and I don't think the movement is fast enough to account for the effective range of the Bandit. But how do the Bandit Evo tweaks just change everything? Well, to be honest, I don't know, and you'll never know until you actually try it out. Here are some of the weapon tweaks I saw from Halo themselves. On top of the additional scope, the crosshair is a little bit tighter with a significantly smaller margin of error, probably making it so that you can hit the headshots easier. And in Season 3, I actually was initially excited for the Bandit, solely because of the gameplay thought process behind it. The Bandit was supposed to serve as a consistent gun because of its single shot capabilities, and the Bandit Evo might actually solve all the problems that I listed so far. If you remember, I had a video back then and it was about Shroud and Summit using the BR in Ranked Arena. Well, the new Bandit Evo kind of negates that. For you to be optimal with the BR, you need to hit every part of the 3-round burst. And I go over that in the video about the 3-round burst mechanic. But with the strafes in Halo being as fast as they are, it was difficult for you to hit that 3-round burst every time. The Bandit makes it so that what you shoot is what you get. You either hit it all or you miss it all. And although this change is controversial to longtime Halo fans, I'm generally pretty open about it. The Bandit Evo should theoretically fulfill all of the BR's functions in the game, but it has the added benefit of being more consistent. And with consistency, comes competitiveness. Lastly, it opens up the game to lots of outplay. Remember how I said in the tournament that the game turned into a RNG fest where whoever had the most health and who could shoot at the body faster would win? Well, technically with the additional scope of the Bandit Evo and a tighter margin crosshair, the headshots should be a lot more skillful. Something I discovered while playing Halo is that the dueling and fighting capabilities are not just pure aim, it's actually about the dance and your aim. You have to play around cover, constantly counter strafe, aim with your strafe, aim with yourself, and properly use the map to be effective. The new Bandit makes that dance just have a little bit more depth, since that last headshot when you pop the shields should add just a little bit more outplay potential. And my only gripe with Bandit starts is that I won't have my BR model anymore, and I won't be able to use my watermelon skin. Needless to say, those are my opinions of the Bandit Evo, and I'm very excited to see how the meta will shift in Halo for Season 5. Hope you guys liked the video, and if you have any questions, just leave me a comment, or if you have any of your own opinions, just leave me a comment.